This has got to be the longest running joke ever. We have a buyer for a TikTok, by the way. Who's the buyer? I'll tell you in about 2 weeks. So, never then. Got it. It's accidental, but Trump has figured out that that's the length of the American attention span. Unfortunately, it's even shorter than that. A society that produces billionaires while millions go hungry isn't successful. It's broken. I don't think we should have billionaires, full stop. It's honestly insane to me that in this day and age, according to a lot of moderates, that's a hot take. Zohran Mamdani is saying things like, poverty is a policy choice and politicians have a duty to their constituents to make their lives, and politicians have a duty to their constituents to make their lives affordable. And it's making a lot of politicians very, very scared that they may actually have to start doing some actual service in their public service jobs. That is something I believe that a lot of American politicians are scared of, is the bar for politicians in their country being raised. That's why they're reluctant to change. They'd rather take all the money from their donors to not do much and fuck over their constituents, as opposed to doing their job. Bring it on. Gavin Newsom, plaintiff, versus Fox News Network, defendant. Bernie is spot on. One of the very few US politicians that actually somewhat cares about their constituents. Democratic Party leaders, you've talked for 6 months about the need to create political excitement to get working class and young people involved in the political process. That's exactly what Zohran did. Get behind him. Yep, Zohran just showed them how to do it. I guess they don't really want to though. I mean, if they talked about affordable housing, healthcare for all, and subsidized childcare, it would upset their donor class who doesn't want to have to pay for any of that. And we all know that's who most of them really work for. Anything that prevents them from rat-fucking all of us as hard as possible is wholly unacceptable. Zohran Lil Muhammad Mamdani is an anti-Semitic socialist communist who will destroy the great city of New York. He needs to be deported, which is why I'm calling for him to be subject to denaturalization proceedings. Oh, that's This is a sitting US congressman. Mask off, hood on. If you can't beat him, deport him, I guess? Deport Lil Muhammad. Zohran is more American than you will ever be. All these Republicans can't help but go on about going through the legal means of immigration, and when someone immigrates to the US legally, like Zohran, now they want to find a way to deport him? White men are walking around on eggshells at work, afraid to speak freely, survey. Walking on eggshells is just MAGA for, I can't be racist at the office anymore. Sometime after the degenerate society into corporate feudalism, but bye-bye Lil Muhammad. What does that nickname even mean? If you land on your N400 naturalization forums, you're going home. So his home in America. So when does the cure cancer part of AI happen? I'm gonna try and communicate with my Republican colleagues in a new way. GOP's big ugly bill kicks people off healthcare and food assistance. Hospitals will close. Kids with disabilities will lose caregivers. Big winners, billionaires, total fraud. It polls like garbage, because it is. GOPs should drop it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. No notes. Maybe that's how we get to the MAGA cult. Talking like cavemen on Truth Social. Governor Kathy Hochul says she's not ready to back socialist Zohran Mamdani for New York City mayor yet, slamming his plan to tax the rich. Oh, guess they meant vote blue no matter who, so long as they protect the oligarchy. This is what desperation looks like, fear-mongering via comic books. Electing Zohran Mamdani New York City mayor would spur cop exodus, crime surge straight out of Batman's Gotham City, experts say. The experts in question probably being bribed, lobbied by insert billionaire, insert company, insert billionaire. He hasn't even won yet. We are witnessing one of the most dramatic groups in America have a meltdown over something that hasn't even happened yet. To be fair, this is what they always do. They see something they don't like, then make up a scenario to be afraid of, so they can post how outraged they are on social media. If they didn't make up things to be mad about, they would have no talking points at all. Hey guys, if you enjoy my horrible Trump impression and enjoy this gay guy reading stuff, you should totally like and subscribe, because it helps out a lot. Anyways, back to the video, and hope you have a good day. Breaking news. Dear leader Trump is reportedly on track to pass Obama as the most popular president in US history. That's really interesting. Works cited? Lauren Boebert, Congress is broken. This place sucks. Yeah, thanks to you and your party, Lauren. They certainly aren't governing like they ever plan to run in another election ever again. Poll after poll shows that Trump's big beautiful bill is very unpopular. Americans on Trump's spending and tax cut bill. And yeah, most people oppose it. I really wonder why. All these Republican women have that glazed cult look in their eyes. It's like the people in fucking Scientology. Are you guaranteeing that these changes that you're voting for will not hurt recipients in Alabama of Medicaid or food stamps for those who are citizens and truly need it and deserve it? Bryn, absolutely. What you're talking about is able-bodied, working-aged Americans without dependents. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're eligible for Medicare or Medicaid, don't you have to prove you're disabled and can't work? How are all these people they think are committing fraud? Everyone I've met on one of these programs literally can't work. But that's anecdotal evidence. Here's a quick note to everyone pretending that Zohran Mamdani somehow favors communism. Well, here's the Republican president literally saying on camera that he wishes America was more like communist China. In China, you know how long it takes. One day, it's called President Xi. Boom, it's okay. Over here, we're gonna have almost the same thing. We're getting fast approvals. Yes, because Trump doesn't want any checks or balances and wants to be able to run the country completely unopposed. Got it. They are sending roving bands of masked thugs with the stated goal of kidnapping 20 million brown people to transport them to any country they can pay to take them. All of this can be cleared by the stolen corn. This is not deportation, this is ethnic cleansing. This is how you counter bans. Viktor Orban banned pride events in Hungary, and the people took it as a challenge and just had the largest pride march in their country's history. Yep, pride is protest. The US has gotten used to rainbow capitalism, and now that it's going away, the LGBTQ community has no idea how to organize a response. Complacency and comfortability is how we got to where we are. Numerous people have come forward wanting to run in the primary against Senator Thom Tillis, I will be meeting with them over the coming weeks, looking for someone who will properly represent the great people of North Carolina, and so, importantly, the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is what cult leaders do. If you turn against the cult in any way, you're kicked out of the cult and replaced by someone who can easily be brainwashed. If Christian nationalist parents are allowed to have their kids opt out of any books that dare mention anyone gay, then all the other parents should be allowed to let their kids opt out of the 10 Commandments. Abso-frickin-lutely. You're assuming a self-awareness that doesn't exist inside Christian nationalism. The self-righteousness overrides any self-awareness. It's a tale of 2 US presidents. One played golf while trolling the world on social media, and the other one did this. President Biden has arrived at the Minnesota State Capitol to pay respects to Democratic lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, who were shot in their homes by a MAGA assassin. The United States tried presidents who were smart, decent, and capable of empathy, but decided it wasn't for them. It just didn't reflect them. Tillis, what do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years, 3 years, when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off Medicaid because the funding's not there anymore, guys? The people in the White House advising the president, they're not telling him that the effect of this bill is to break a promise. Yes, they are. They don't care. They don't care. They really don't care. The only thing they want is to pay 0 taxes. Oh no, while getting better benefits than those propping them up. That's not true. They also want to outlaw MSNBC, vaccines, and sexual pleasure. But only for women. I don't think they need to worry about that. AOC's previous home in Yorktown Heights. This is publicly reported information. Her dad bought it for $150,000 over 20 years ago. Her mom sold it for $355,000. I'm proud of how I grew up, and I talk about it all the time. My mum cleaned houses and I helped. We cleaned tutors' homes in exchange for SAT prep. Growing up between the Bronx and Yorktown deeply shaped my views of inequality, and it's a big reason I do the things I do today. I tell this story on the Fight the Oligarchy tour. When my dad died during the financial crisis, my mum almost got foreclosed on. GOP always thinks this is some gotcha, but I ran my whole campaign on Congress on this with the motto, "Your zip code shouldn't determine your destiny." It's hard for these douchebags to do a gotcha moment on AOC. The problem is that she's an unpretentious person who doesn't lie about herself. They are completely unfamiliar with this type of person, so they just keep trying. She's a bartender, okay? She's so ugly that I can't stop fantasizing about her. I think they also hate the fact that she's also pretty. AOC doesn't fit their stereotyped mold of a fat, ugly, green-haired, angry feminist, so they can fat shame her, or something like that. It is shocking how bad this bill is. Big or beautiful at all, eh? 17 million people would lose healthcare, 30% higher electricity costs, millions of manufacturing and construction jobs destroyed, biggest ever cut in food assistance for families, kids, and veterans, $4 trillion in deficits, but $1 trillion in tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires. People should be on the phones, in the streets, and telling everyone who'll listen. Nice Senate seat you've got there. Would be a shame if something happened to it. For all cost-cutting Republicans, of which I am one, Remember, you still have to get re-elected. Don't go too crazy. We will make it all up times 10 with growth more than ever before. On the hurricane satellite shutdown, Pentagon just pulled the plug on hurricane satellites right before peak storm season. Millions of Americans are at risk, and no explanation. This isn't cost-cutting, it's reckless. My MAGA parents live in hurricane territory. I wonder if they'll blame the Dems. Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll be that Democrat-controlled weather machine again. These will be Biden's hurricanes. Trump just took office 6 months ago, so he says they can't be his. Nothing but hypocrisy with them. Racist MAGA losers are sharing this image of Zohran Mamdani in South Asian attire and triggering themselves into oblivion. Don't know what's wrong about wearing different clothes, but okay, girly pop. And I have another one for you to share, idiots. Oh, I can agree with this as well. Never trust anyone whose last name ends with a vowel. Justice Alito, Justice Scalia, JD Vance, Pam Bondi, Rudy Giuliani, Marco Rubio, Mike Lee. Well, yeah, I can agree with all those. This guy is dumber than a 3rd grader. Oh, I thought we already had that well established. President Poopy Diaper. We'll send a letter and we'll say we would consider it a great honor, and this is what you'll have to do to shop in. We're like a department store. To shop in the United States, and you'll have to pay a 25% tariff, or we'll wish you a lot of luck. And that's the end of the trade deal. I think he was just mad that he couldn't actually find a trade deal with anyone. He really doesn't understand how tariffs work, huh? Or actually, I guess he's talking to the American people. We're paying 25% tariffs to shop here, so maybe he does understand it. I still think that he believes that the tariff is paid by the exporter, not the importer. Zohran Mamdani's apparent win in the New York City mayoral Democratic primary is being celebrated by some with hateful anti-Semitic tropes and extreme anti-Israel rhetoric. Well, okay, here's you defending a Nazi salute. This is a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm. Not a Nazi salute, but again, we appreciate that people are on edge. Yeah, I think it's just a case of rules for thee and not for me. If they're on, quote, your side, question mark, they can do whatever the fuck they want.